Hi. Is that short enough? First, I just want to say thank you to our clergy for an incredible service this evening, and to Russell, thank you so much. We are really grateful for what you've done to allow us to pray tonight. Special thank you goes to our Cantor Emerita, Cantor Kay Greenwald, who is here. She's actually in this space right now. She is the person who's known me the longest. She's known me longer than my wife has. It's true. Sorry, sweetie. She's the other woman. And there's a long story, but I'll just say that the reason why I'm here is because of Cantor Kay. And so if I do anything good, you can thank her. A number of years ago, I found myself in southern Ethiopia, living with a family from the Hamar tribe. These are men and women who live off the land. Their homes were simple, and I had the privilege of spending about a week living with them, the first Caucasian they had ever met. Very early one morning, the sun had not yet come up. I woke and stood in the midst of their family's three-hut village, looking around in the waning light of the moon, awed at where I was and what I was doing. Something touched my arm and I jumped. I turned around, and the grandmother of the family was standing there with a big smile on her face. Now, she knew no English, and I was unable to comprehend the Hamar dialect. So she took me by my arm and led me to the pen that held the goats and various piles of grain. She sat me down on a stool just by the very full udders of a goat. Placing her hand on mine, we milked the goat, letting the milk fall into a hollowed-out gourd below. When the gourd was almost full, I stopped squeezing the udder. She gently slapped my hand and forced me to keep milking, allowing a good amount to flow onto the ground. When she deemed it sufficiently full, she took my arm again and had me follow her to a big basket of coffee beans nearby. She had another gourd, handed it to me, and had me fill it with raw coffee beans. When almost full, I handed the gourd to her, and she, of course, slapped my hand again, indicating for me to continue filling it to the very top. Then she led me into one of their coned, thatched, roofed, round mud straw huts that was pitch black inside. She had me sit down, and she adeptly built a small fire and began roasting the coffee beans. As my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I realized that there were other bodies in the hut, at least 8 other people sleeping. As they slowly awoke to the aroma of the roasting coffee, the grandmother handed me the first cup, symbolic of my status as an honored guest. The grandmother, though, treated me less like a guest and more like family. She showed me how her family lived, giving me the opportunity, like with the goat and the coffee, to live like they did. She taught me so much. Me? I had no real skills to offer them. I couldn't speak their Hamar language, but what I had was a digital camera and a small battery-powered printer. So I took their pictures and printed out copies for them. They had never seen such a thing in their entire lives. And as amazed and humbled as I was, by what she taught me, her family was astounded by what I offered them. In other words, relationships are built on what each person brings to the other. The same is true with ourselves and God, however we understand God to be. God brought us Torah. We, the Jewish people, brought our hands and hearts to bring Torah to life, in a way to manifest God's goodness in this world. It's a partnership, a relationship, two entities giving and getting. Are you trying to tell me something? That is what we are doing here, and that is why I am here. Over the next year, I have the privilege of being your senior rabbi. I have the joy of getting to know you and your families, to become an intimate and integral part of your Jewish lives. That's what I get, and that's what you give. What do you get? You get me. Actually, I thought it was kind of funny. What you get actually is 43 years of experience in handling transitions, of giving space to individuals and communities when they mourn their losses. 43 years of helping people and communities say goodbye to rabbis, saying goodbye to past histories, saying goodbye to pain. 43 years of figuring out who we are as a community, and 43 years of beginning the exciting prospect of eventually welcoming a full-time, permanent senior rabbi. That's my job, to help in the process, to help you drive the bus, to do all those things that rabbis and cantors do within congregations: lead services, teach, care for folks who find themselves in need, to celebrate Jewish life. But it's also my job to lend a hand and, in fact, direct how we might change the tires on that bus, to help with the messy and marvelous process we call transition. And like anyone who has ever changed a tire on their car, we can get very messy in the process. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes you hurt yourself doing it. Often we sweat and we struggle and we strain. But we can get it done if we're willing to do the hard work. Now, regarding the hard work that we have to do, that you and I have to do, there's a wonderful story, one that you may have heard before. And if you had, just pretend you haven't. A long time ago, in a shtetl, whose name has been lost to history, plans were drawn up for the design of a new synagogue. People wanted to see the progress, to walk inside the shell as it was being constructed. But the rabbi had instructed that a tall fence be put up, blocking both access and view. Finally, after many months, the new synagogue was done. The entire community came out for the dedication. And as they gazed upon it for the first time, everyone marveled at its breathtaking beauty. It wasn't long, though, before someone noticed that the building had no light. "Where are the lamps?" someone asked. "How will our new synagogue be lit?" The rabbi indicated a number of brackets that had been mounted on the walls at regular intervals throughout the synagogue. The rabbi then presented each family with a lamp that they were to carry with them whenever they came to the synagogue. When you are not here, the rabbi said, part of this synagogue will not be lit. When you remain at home, especially when our community needs you, some part of God's house will be dark. Yet when you show up, our community will be full of light. My friends, each of us has a spark of that light that is needed to permit Beth Am to radiate and shine. I know that some of you feel that we are in a great place today. Others of you, well, you are skeptical or confused or hurt or tired or angry, perhaps all of those. However, only if we all bring our unique sparks, our own lamps, and join together both at and of Beth Am, can we heal and light up this community and permit it to be the beacon of joy of Jewish learning, Jewish loving, and Jewish living that it has been in the past. I am truly honored to be here this year, to be partners with Rabbi Heath, with Cantor Jamie, with our newest rabbi, Rabbi Shoshana Nambi, who will be here in a couple of weeks, with Jeremy Regent, our executive director, our entire education team, our entire staff, along with Amy Gerstein, our congregation's president, and her entire board, and with each of you. I'm honored to be your partner, to be in relationship together. I have my work to do for you. I've shared a piece of what that work looks like that I'll be doing in the days and weeks and months to come. Those gifts that I bring to our relationship. Your work, your gifts, it is simply to bring your light, your unique light, to Beth Am. And together, let us light up our Beth Am world with joy, with learning, with prayer, with tikkun olam, but most of all, with hope. We can do all that if we do it together. Won't you please join me? Thank you.